Hello everyone, Chef here. Welcome to Sky Week Day 1. Today I'll be ranking the Skylanders games from worst to best, but I need to get something straight first. For starters, I do not hate or despise any of the Skylanders games. They're all good, but each game does and will have different flaws with it. And secondly, this is my opinion on the games. If you like a game that I rank the lowest on the list, that's completely fine. Anyways, enough rambling, onto the list. In last place is Skylanders Supercharged. For some this may be a surprise, but for others, not so much. For starters, this is the game and gameplay. Although Supercharged is in last place, I have to give it some credit. This game has a really good story, probably the best in the franchise unlike the prior games. It's an actual reason given out to the player why you have to go to this location and that location. Although this is outweighed over how short the game is. Supercharged is probably the shortest game in the franchise, however, with realistically only taking someone to complete it in 9 hours or so. Which is a shame because of the good story, and the levels are stunning, and they are quite decent to play through. The gameplay in this game is the same as any other Skylanders games, apart from 90% of the battles are just vehicle battles, which do get tedious quite fast. And my final point, and why I think Supercharged is the weakest game in the franchise, is the game's roster. It's the weakest in the franchise, with there only being 2 characters and 2 vehicles per element, apart from Light and Dark, that only have 1. In 5th place is Skylanders Swap Force. Yep, I know, very ironic how both Skylanders games developed by Vicarious Visions are in the lowest spot on the list. Anyways, Skylanders Swap Force doesn't feel like a Skylanders game to me. Most of the enemies having a redesign, what was not needed, and the only returning NPC, Flynn, and all the rest being replacements. For example, Tesla replaces Callie, and Rufus, the worst NPC in Skylanders history, replacing Hugo. Unlike Supercharged, Swap Force does the exact same opposite level length, sometimes taking over half an hour to get through a single level. The story for this game has to be the second weakest story in any Skylanders game. The whole plot surrounding the Skylanders running around trying to free giant creatures so they can erupt a volcano in the meantime, chaos is evilizing creatures for some reason. Also, it doesn't really explain how the swappers got to Earth, just there, if you know what I mean. But the roster is good for this game, and probably is the only positive point about it, with some good new core additions, and the swappers are really good. A lot of people are gonna hate me for this, but in 4th place is Skylanders Imaginators. This game, for me, gave me a way better experience than the other 2 previous games did. The story is bad, yeah, I agree on that, but the roster is very cool. You have the villains from Trap Team that are now fully fledged Skylanders, and the ability to create your own Skylander is amazing in my opinion. Although, as previously said, the story and characters are really lazily slopped together, with Skylanders like Eruption and Spyro becoming NPCs for some reason, and the story just not being good. It doesn't make any sense. They're not coherent, if you know what I mean. In 3rd place is Skylanders Trap Team. Skylanders Trap Team is in 3rd place because of the story. I really like this one, and the gimmick is amazing. I love the whole concept of playing as villains, and the levels. I keep talking about levels, but goddamn, these levels are so wacky and cool. And the trap masters and traps are my favourite gimmick from Skylanders as a whole. And alongside this, the levels and the villains in this game have so much character to them. And the expansion packs, which are so good, like I've said before with the other games, they are really solid, and the gameplay is fun itself. In 2nd place is Skylanders Spar's Adventure. I think most people could get why I have ranked the game this high on the list, but for the people who don't know, I'll give a quick overview. Oh hey, that's a series I make. Anyway, it's a game that started all for one, and gave us some of the most iconic and recognisable Skylanders in the game, and it had very well designed levels, and a very good story really. And now for 1st place. A lot of people already saw this coming. This is Skylanders Swap Force for the 3D. Oh wait, wrong script. It's Skylanders Giants. Skylanders Giants is my favourite Skylanders games, partly for the nostalgia and partly for the awesome and fun levels, and the recognisable roster, and the fun story. The levels are very fun to get through, and the levels OSTs, oh my god, they are the best out of any Skylanders game. Giants also introduce a couple of mechanics that have become the normal in future games, such as reposes and light cores and difficulty mode. Well, I hope you enjoyed my ranking of all the Skylanders games, that from worst to best. That's all for now. See ya.